Namaskar. I have to share this with you because a friend of mine gave this to me, and I think it's so appropriate. I woke up gay again. So, we are back with same sex marriage rights India debate, discussions, and stories. Recently, as you know, the central government opposed same sex marriage rights in India, arguing that same sex marriage is against our Indian culture. It is unnatural, and that marriage is a union between a biological man and a biological woman, and that marriage between two people of same sex will bring chaos to society. Just so that you know, I got married last year in August to a woman of my choice. I'm still waiting for that chaos. During our last episode, we spoke with three renowned psychiatrists, as you know. Two of them were from the Indian Psychiatric Society, and we asked them point blank. We asked, are homosexuals abnormal? I don't know if you want to take a guess, but all of them very, very clearly said to us simply that no, we are not abnormal. And there was evidence and there were ways that they actually proved it. If you have missed that episode, please do watch this on my YouTube channel, Raga Olga de Silva. So, as you know, I'm Raga Olga de Silva, or totally out now, as you know me. Now, let's talk about today. We have a very short clip here from Brute India. Let's watch that.
डियर प्राइम मिनिस्टर, हमें आपसे हमारी शादी के बारे में कुछ बात करनी है।
और सिर्फ हमारी ही नहीं सर, इन सब इंडियन सिटीजन्स के बारे में बात करनी है जो सेम सेक्स रिलेशनशिप्स में है और शादी करना चाहेंगे। आई एम शांतिका एंड दिस इज निक। आई वांटेड टू से वाइफ और पार्टनर, बट द सेंटर्स ऑपोजिशन टू सेम सेक्स मैरिज denies us that right, denies us the right to legal and social legitimacy of our relationship.
A basic right, sir, that every other straight citizen of this country has, but not us.
It is an issue of high importance, not just in terms of how it impacts our personal life, but also whether or not we are a country that views all its citizens equally. क्योंकि सर दूसरों की शादी शादी होती है, हमारी शादी तो कोर्ट केस है ना।
Sorry guys, I'm down with COVID, so bear with me. Sir, दूसरों की शादी शादी होती है, हमारी शादी तो कोर्ट केस है ना. I love that line. So for those who don't understand Hindi, sir, other people's weddings are marriages. Our marriage is a court case, no? So when Nicola and I watched this couple on Brute India, we instantly knew we had to invite them onto our Totally Out Now show. Their filminess, their smartness, their creativity really touched our hearts. And this filmy couple will touch your hearts as well. So let me invite Sayantika and Nick from Bangalore. Hi. I'm going
Hello.
Namaste, namaste. कैसे हो आप दोनों?
सब चंगा सी. All good. Very happy and gay.
Very happy. Still woke up gay.
Yes, still woke up gay. Waking up gay every day.
You're sure it's not a phase?
Well, I'm 32. If it's a phase, it's really going on for a long time.
Oh, how long?
And I'm loving this phase. I have no complaints.
So I love it. I love it. Thank you for coming into joining our show. And I've been thinking about you guys for a long, long time. Ever since I think between the two of you, you are like twins. You're like Nicola and I, Raga Nicola. So it's like I don't know who actually made contact with me. I think it was Sayantika.
Yeah,
and started sharing your videos with me, I think about 2 years ago. I loved them. And I was telling Nicola at some point we need to bring them over on our show, and guess what? It happened. So I want to understand. I love your filminess. We're going to keep this light, but I also want to understand. I want to take us through this whole journey that we go as lesbian couple, as Nicola and I have been through, as many of our siblings from the chosen family have been through. I want us to just share this narrative of how love is, what love is, and why we need this freedom to just be who we are and love who we love. So if you were meeting each other for the first time, what would you say to each other?
Well, when we actually met for the first time, we hated each other. But now, after nearly 4 years together, I think in retrospect, that's actually a very interesting question. Yeah. I think now, if I met her, I would say, you are the one I want to travel for the rest of my life with.
Oh.
And I don't mean just travel as in vacations, but I mean travel in this journey of life.
हम
Oh.
दोनों दो प्रेमी ऐसे
That's
ही?
sweet.
Nick, what about you?
So it's really strange that when we met for the first time, I really ignored her because I never thought that I would end up, with her for my entire life. But
I still taunt her for that. I'm like, oh, you didn't think I was hot or what?
like SRK said, अगर किसी चीज को दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात तुम्हें उसे मिलाने में एक हो जाती है. So that happened between us. Like we did not start off on a good note. And when we started dating, we broke up. But I really I don't know, something universe had like planned this for us. So yes, here we are today.
No, so my question is, if you were meeting Shayantika for the first time, what would you say to her?
तुमसे मिलके दिल का है जो हाल क्या कहे.
Hi. Okay. Oh my God, that really warmed me. I'm such a Bollywood myself, and I'm just waiting for an occasion to have a jig with Nicola as well. Actually, tell me this whole thing about you being like you. It was hate at first sight, and now it is love forever.
Yeah.
How did that hate at first sight happen? What happened? How many years ago did you first meet, and where did you meet, and where did your story start?
Okay, so this was about 6 years ago. 6 years, right, Nick? Yeah. 6 years ago, Nick was in Mumbai at that time. I was in Bangalore. We had not even met each other. We have not spoken to each other. Nothing. Like, we are probably like Facebook friends, and that's about it. You know, like how you have so many people on Facebook. But there was a random rumor, completely out of the blue, which was completely out of the blue, because somebody said that we are dating. And I was furious. I'm like, where did this come from? I don't even know this person. We've never spoken. And I kind of thought that she had started the rumor. So I ended up blaming her for it, and I thought, like, what do you think of yourself? Huh? Dekha hai apne aapko, kya samajhte ho? And all of that. And I think she did the same. So because of this rumor, we had this preconceived notions about each other, and we ended up judging each other. So when we first met in person, actually, when she came to Bangalore, about 6 months after that, about 6 months after that, when she came to Bangalore, and we met for the first time, it was at this LGBT hangout sort of situation. We met and we barely spoke to each other. We didn't say a word because we had made up our minds that we do not like each other, and shakal ghuma ke chale gaye types situation was happening. And then we kept bumping into each other. And from then on, like, this was 6 years ago, from then on, for 2 whole years, we just kept bumping into each other, but did not speak to each other. Like, hardly, like, a few words exchanged here and there, but like, we were totally ekdam jani dushman, hating on each other. And फिर बताओ.
After that, we happened to again bump into each other. So I play cricket. I used to play cricket for the Mumbai women's team. And after coming to Bangalore, I found a queer group which is to play cricket regularly. So after one of my cricket practice sessions, I see Sayantika there, and she's nowhere related to sports.
I don't play sports.
So it was quite surprising to see her there, but she had come along with some of the friends. And after cricket, we were like by the street, just having the typical Suleimani chai from Bangalore. And that's when we spoke for the first time. We had a proper conversation for the first time after all these years of just ignoring each other and giving each other looks. This is the first time we spoke, and it was good. Like, after speaking,
you hit the ball out of the park.
Exactly. So after speaking to her, like, she's not that bad, maybe.
Yeah. And then we became friends. We didn't start off dating immediately. We were really good friends. And she honestly became my person, my friend, my best friend. And to quote SRK again, प्यार दोस्ती है. अगर वो तुम्हारी सबसे अच्छी दोस्त नहीं बन सकती, तो तुम उससे प्यार कर नहीं सकती.
Wow. You want to translate that for us? For the non-Hindi?
Yes. For those of you who don't know Hindi, it means love is friendship. And if she can't be your best friend, then you can't love her.
See, I believe in this as well, myself, so much. Okay, very interesting. So now this love story has started. But I want to know, were you just going to probe a little bit more even further into your lives? before each other happened. Were you out to yourselves? Were you out to your parents?
Good.
Okay. So I grew up in Bombay, and I have always had short hair, and it's nothing that I realized that I am a lesbian when I was born. But I always had short hair because both my parents were working, and it was easy for them to maintain. So that's the reason I had short hair, and I was always considered the tomboy of the group.
Yeah, that was like a very popular term back then, especially when we were growing up. Like anyone with short hair, just tomboy. That was like a staple stereotype.
However, I dated a guy, maybe out of peer pressure or something. I don't know. I don't really remember now, and it's not important anymore. So that happened. But when I started playing cricket for the Mumbai team, that's when I got a lot of attention from other people, from people from other teams, and even my school. Like literally, when I used to go to other cities or states to play for my matches, I used to get these cute letters from the girls, from my team, from my school.
I can see smoke coming out.
No, complete clear. No, it's.
So I kind of started liking that attention, and that ended up me spending time with these people, these girls, and there was something very different that I felt. Like there were. I think that's the first time I really experienced butterflies in my stomach, which I did not feel with a guy. I don't know why the heck I was even in. I wouldn't even call it a relationship, but probably that age,
You were very young, and then there's a whole lot of peer pressure,
But I literally felt something when I had a crush on this girl. So I remember in my summer vacations, I used to sit by my window and read my comic books.
Tinkle.
Yeah, I used to read my Tinkle and sit by my window. And there was this girl who used to stay in my apartment, and I had a huge crush on her. She was elder than me, and she used to study at the same time, sitting by her window. So I could literally smell her shampoo, and just for I used to just sit there in my comics. So and all these things were happening, but I did not know the term. I did not know the term lesbian. I probably did not even see anyone around me, because while growing up, we did not have enough representation, or even whatever we saw was probably in Hollywood movies. Later on, when it came in Bollywood movies, the kind of representation that was shown was like really bad, in a bad light. So never knew it. But yes, as in when I grew up and I started, when I got introduced to the Mumbai community, I went for my first Pride event, and that's when I met similar folks, and I think it came self-acceptance came pretty easy to me, and it came pretty early to me, and I'm so glad about it. Like I did not waste any more years of my life.
Brilliant. What about your family, Nick? Did you come? I'm sorry, you used to use the term "come out," but did you have to talk to them? Did they accept, or did they just kind of go with it?
So, unfortunately for me, somebody else outed me to my family. First to my brother, then to my mother, and I wasn't really ready to deal with it. I was like, oh no, I don't know what to say now. I just ended up crying, and obviously I couldn't have that conversation. And then again, I belong to a family which doesn't really believe in having conversations, so it's very difficult. So now they know. It's not like they don't know. It's quite obvious. They know that we live together, and every time I go home, Shantika also comes with me. And my mother adores her. Like she would go shopping with Shantika. She would talk a bitch about me with her and things like that. But I would say they're still probably living in a denial, maybe.
Yeah, we're not like using the terms and all.
Yeah. So they don't consider you a couple in that way, but they know of her and they accept her. I mean,
they know we live together also. Almost, sometimes some of the very things that even Auntie does is very so like, it makes me feel like she does know we are a couple, because There was one time she was making these aloo parathas, and she was like, "Arey, aise aloo paratha banana seekh le, Nick ko aise pasand hai."
Huh?
You know, she was
Yeah.
teaching me how Nick likes her
Yeah.
aloo
Yeah.
parathas.
No,
I
I
think
get it. I get it.
they're not,
Yeah.
getting into that zone.
Yeah.
They're probably
Yeah.
avoiding it.
Yeah.
And I also stay away, and I think they're not ready to,
Yeah.
listen up right now. So I'm also taking time, giving them time, because I understand
Sure.
it's also probably an alien concept for them.
Sure.
Although when they see us together, they're pretty happy about it. But maybe they'll need some more
Yeah.
time, and it's
Sure.
completely.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what about you, Shantika? Your
Okay,
family?
so I kind of came out pretty like comparatively late in life. I came out at the age of 24. I grew up in Calcutta, and that too in 90s Calcutta. So I had zero awareness of the term lesbian. Did not know the term, did not know what it means. I used to go to girls' school, and back then these things were called like, oh, those things that happen in girls' school. Just a crush, or girl crush. That was the term for it. So there was never any visibility, representation that all the couples that I saw around me, whether it was mom, dad, whether it was, some uncle, aunties, all of them were straight couples. So I had no
Only one
idea,
template.
I had no idea what my life would look like being a lesbian, being a woman who loves another woman, so I could not wrap my head around it. I knew I liked women. I had massive crushes, even in school, on this one girl. Like, I was like puppy dog love over this one girl, flipping out over her and all of that. But did not have a term for it, did not have any idea. So I kind of just like stayed in that denial phase. And for me, I like you were saying earlier, coming out, we all come out. There's no one coming out. We all come out during different phases of our life. We come out to ourselves, we come out to other people, we come out to parents, friends, colleagues, etc., etc. It just keeps going on. But I feel like the biggest coming out is coming out to your own self. When you can look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, this is who I am, and I am proud about it. That for me happened at 24. After I attended my first gay pride. It's always pride, isn't it? For most of us. I attended my first Bangalore pride, and it was a euphoric experience for me. Like, I was there on the street for the first time in my life. This kid who has grown up without seeing gay people ever. And I was just there on the street seeing thousands of people from the LGBT community, being their authentic selves, being out loud and proud, and just flaunting their rainbows and chanting and calling out, Nammadeho and all of that, my body, my rights. And I was like, this is amazing. I exist, people like me exist, and we are valid. I think
Excellent.
that for me was the moment that brought it together.
It's lovely to hear, because I left India technically a long time ago. I grew up in India. In my time, of course, there was zero representation as well. It's only, I think, 2018, after Section 377 was overturned, I think we saw vocal people actually coming out into the streets. And it's so lovely to see the new India, where there are so many pride marches all around. There are people like yourselves who are living their truth. It's very heartening, and a
But
point.
it does happen, Raga. Like, in fact, Calcutta Pride, the city that I'm from, and I learned that much later, is one of the cities where the oldest pride in India has been happening. First pride in India happened there, and that was way back, like even way before it was decriminalized and all of that. And today, the reason that we get to be out, the reason that we get to own our authentic selves more proudly, is because we are standing on the shoulders of those people who have gone through that
Created
struggle,
that
who have fought even when it was not legal, who have fought even when
Absolutely.
it was hard.
Absolutely. And we've done a lot of coming out stories from India they're on my YouTube channel. We've spoken to about 25 people from the time when, Bombay Dost basically was there, around the time where I didn't even know what the word gay meant, or, talking about my generation. And these are people who have held us, and then we have your elders. And then now you're doing the same for the next generation. But it is a much better place than it used to be. I can tell you that just by looking at your examples. Couples existed. There was another couple we interviewed who had been together 28 years. Now, it's just that they were not visible. Nobody saw them because they didn't make themselves visible, just in case from the fear of, and the threat of society. So people have been around. There are lots of couples. We just don't know about them. In fact, Nicola and I have been together 16 years. But I didn't come out until publicly until about 2019. That's a long time. It took me a long time to come out because we didn't feel safe. So I think the
Yeah.
younger generation like yourself is at least, whether you come out to your family or the family accepts or not, whether your family understands the vocabulary or not, or the
Yeah.
relationship or not, at least you are there. In fact,
Yeah.
I tell the audience, when people listening in, I tell a lot of the youngsters who come to me saying, don't come out. You don't have to come out unless you're really ready. What is this coming out anyway? You have
Absolutely.
you have to
Absolutely.
come out to yourself. Your parents, if you've taken it, say 20, 24 years to come out to yourself, your parents have no idea. Give them time as well. Don't go and start, pulling out the batons out and saying my parents have, abandoned me. No, parents don't abandon anyone. They just take time, and we have to give them time. Of course, unless someone really abandons you, that's a different story. And
In
there
my
are
case,
some.
parents' case, fortunately, I've been very privileged. They are super accepting. They adore Nick. I think Nick is their second kid now. They may let go of me, but they
I
will keep.
think
Oh.
they love me more than you.
Yeah.
But I want to understand this. This is because now you're the next generation or the next generation after us, and we have had some stereotypical things to deal with. People
Yeah.
typically ask these questions,
Yeah.
who's the man in the family? And my answer is like, if I wanted a man, I had the chance to be with one forever. Sorry. So, do you get faced with these kind of really nonsensical questions? And
Absolutely.
what are those? Let's hear them. Tell me
Absolutely.
what are
So
the
I'll
typical.
tell you a recent one. So somebody, after the fruit video, only somebody, and we keep getting these a lot. And I do not ignore these messages because I feel that it is important to spread awareness in whatever ways we can, in whatever mediums I am getting an opportunity to. So we recently got a DM from somebody in Pakistan, and they messaged us asking who does the wifely duties
Yeah.
between you two.
Who maintains the house, who does
Yeah.
the chores and everything. So they said who does the wifely duties, etc. And Nick really takes out the time to reply to each and every one on our DMs and everything, and very patiently as that. I am not that patient, but she really does it because when we started this, we were very clear. Like, it's in our bio as well. When we started our couples page about a year ago, we were very clear that we are not going to do this. Like, we are not creating content in a very activisty way or in a very preachy way. We are not going to try to shove it down anybody's throat. We have this line in our bio which says "Duniya badlengi lekin pyar se," which is, to put it simply, it's, we want to change the world, but with love.
Yeah,
So
and we really believe in the power of love.
so that was key to us, that we approach this with more empathy, that we, because we do understand that as well. It's as much as it's difficult to learn, it's also difficult to
Unlearn.
way more
It's
difficult
more
to
difficult
unlearn.
to unlearn.
Yeah, I agree. But these are stereotypes, right? That
Yeah,
people that you're
have
faced
these
with. Yeah.
questions. People have these
And
questions.
Nick always says this, that with awareness comes acceptance. For a lot of people, they are not really aware of what a lesbian couple in real life looks like.
Yeah.
We've come across so many people who said we are the first lesbian couple we are ever meeting. They may know the terms, they may see LGBT, they may see the pride flag on social media, all of that, but they've never really met a real life couple. And most people's idea of lesbians is just lesbian porn, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's literally the highest search keywords. Lesbians, I always see this, gay men get a lot of hate. Lesbians are super sexualized and fetishized. People can't seem to see beyond what we do in the bedroom. So it is very important to put that narrative out there for people to truly understand what our day-to-day life is like. That, we also go to bed together, just cuddle up, wake up together, cook, go to office, do our daily chores, do grocery, all of that. And because of this utter lack of representation, and of course gender stereotypes, people have this question: who will do the wifely chores, who is the man in the relationship, who's the woman in the relationship, because that's the only template they have seen. So many times we get asked that, oh, is Nick the man in the relationship? Even well-intentioned people, from the community also, would say, would tell Nick bhaiya and me bhabhi.
Huh.
uh, so that stereotype, the heteronormative stereotype, people are still trying to fit every relationship, homosexual or otherwise, into the gender stereotypes that have been reinforced in a heteronormative relationship. It's not just about being gay. I mean, there is no such thing as wifely duties. There's no such thing as this is a man's job, this is a woman's job in a relationship.
And that's what we
Even
try
in a
to
straight one.
tell this first, that we are life partners. And I simply asked, like, if you have a partner, like I said, we are life partners, and we divide all the duties, whatever it is, we do it together. We divide all the work that we do at home or anything else. And shouldn't that be the case for any relationship? So he was ultimately, after the conversation, he was convinced. He's like, yeah, you're right. Like, why should my wife do all the things? I will also help. So
Nick, you have superpowers.
Yeah, I'm just saying that answer would not have gone well with a heterosexual person, because for them it's like partnership is not partnership. It's 75-25, maybe 80-20. 80% wife does, 20% the man does. I'm sorry, you can slap me online if you want to, but that's the reality. But so that stereotype is what also we are trying to break, and that is why I wanted to have you both on the show, because I want, this is us. This is why I titled, this is us, this is us, this is us. We are not extraordinary. No, actually, I changed that. We are extraordinary, but we don't have extraordinary powers. And that is why when I introduced you, I said super filmy, super creative, because filmy is why did I say filmy? Because doing something in an entertaining, light manner is sometimes the only way to educate and create awareness. And that is why I love the way your Insta works, the way you kind of bring that. I wish we could show that video, Suraj Hua Madhyam, the way you have. I love that video. I love the way you share these messages of love. It doesn't have to be Shah Rukh Khan always, sorry, and Kajol always, or Rani Mukherjee. It can be two Nicks and two Shayantikas. It can be Nick and Shayantika together. It can be Nicola and Raga together. Listen,
Yes,
people.
absolutely.
Yeah, and
you
it
know,
is.
and that was the when we made that video, we are, like we said, we are generally, like, as people, we are both very filmy, and that's kind of what's brought us together. In fact, one of our first memories of when we realized that we worked together was we were at a house party and Chaya Chaya was playing, and suddenly the song came on and both of us got on the floor and we started doing the steps, and we did it like we had choreographed it. We were syncing, we were matching each other's step, and I was like,
yeah, I found one.
yes.
Hey, we want to watch that. Chal Chaiya Chaiya at some point.
It was a full mood. And even like you were saying, Suraj Hua Madham, we are both big Shah Rukh Khan fans, so we wanted to recreate that in a lesbian context, because all of these, as much as we love Bollywood, unfortunately we have never seen somebody like us, a couple like us, a love like ours, in any of these movies or in any of these songs, all the ones that we grew up loving so much. So we wanted to create our own version of it. And, like, all of you can just go check it out on our Instagram page. It's there.
What's
And
your
we-
Instagram page? It's Nick and
it's Nick and Shanti.
Nick and Shanti.
Yes.
Nick,
the name on the screen, the same spelling, right?
yes,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you must please follow them and watch them. They are fantastic. I love the colors you use. I love the vibrancy, and I love the messaging. At the end of the day, I say that's it. That's my two Kajols there. Sorry, I'm saying Kajol because I'm partial to Kajol. I absolutely love Kajol, and no, actually, I love Vidya Balan before Kajol. So Vidya Balan, if you're listening, you know where to come and say hi to. I've had her on our show, by the way, Vidya Balan. So I need to, yeah. So we need. Oh yeah, and I proposed to her, by the way.
Oh,
And guess what she said? You have to watch that show.
Wait, is Nicola outraged? I want to know that.
She was in the background. Smoke was coming out, and I was saying, "Oh, just kidding, just kidding." It was just banter, as we all say. Hey, listen, I just want to ask you, this Brute India video that you put together, which was fantastic video. Now, did it receive any relevant response? You know what I'm asking? You asked the Prime Minister. You said, "Suno, doosroh ki shadi shadi hai. Hamari shadi." Such a filmy way of saying it. So, what did you receive any response to that? And what were you expecting, first of all?
lot of responses, but I don't think anything relevant.
Yeah. No, actually, yes, relevant. Because, see, as much as we were speaking it was addressed as an open letter to the Prime Minister, it was also about the citizens of India. Every citizen of India. It was it was coming from a place of uh, us being citizens of India asking for our rights. As much as it's directed at the prime minister or at the political parties or judiciary, but similarly, taking it forward, it also has to create that awareness for the people of India, because it's not just a legislation, right? Let's say
And
tomorrow,
it's not only talking to the queer people.
it's not about just talking to the queer people, it's talking to all the citizens of India, because it's when we all realize that how important this is, how important it is from a citizens rights perspective as well, is when you can relate. And we did get a lot of relevant responses on that front.
Yeah.
There was so many, as much as we got hate, discrimination and all of that, those comments just giving galis and all of that, there was a lot of those. But what made us really happy, what like gladdened our heart, was that there was so many straight folks, who came and commented, and not even just folks who are very aware and woke, etc., but also folks who came and commented from a place of empathy, who just said, hey, they're so sweet together, they just love each other, why can't we just let them be?
Or something like, saying this, they're saying all the right things.
सही तो बोला, गलत क्या बोल रहे हैं? मतलब, like now that they're hearing it in the complete context of why we want
they probably
it.
must have never thought about it, but
Yeah,
when
exactly.
they're hearing our perspective,
Yeah.
they're open to hear, and we're so glad about it. Like
Yeah,
they're not shut about it, they're at least listening to our perspective and giving us a chance to speak.
In fact, there was this one beautiful comment in which, one person had said, was slamming us, giving us a lot of hate. Somebody else there commented that,
Was saying that the person who was slamming was saying that all this is okay, but if
your
your
own child
own child would be queer, you would
not
then
accept it.
you would not give this reaction. You
Yeah.
would not show the acceptance.
Yeah.
And then the response.
So
to that
then
was,
this one man who was straight replied there saying, no, I would accept my child even if they are gay, even if they turn out to be gay in future, because I love them and I want them to be happy just like these two girls are.
See, this is it, thank you for sharing this. It's so beautiful because this is what I say. We change the narrative one story at a time. We can't change the world, and the world is not going to change. But even these small things that we can put into the universe, and if Shah Rukh Khan and his universe can make this change, I would be so happy for us. No, really. See, I'm going to read out some comments as they're coming because I also have Dr. Anita Prasad says, love your subject on marriage. Also, the awareness you spread for the society. Best wishes to you all, Raga, Nick, and Sayantika. Thank you very much, Dr. Anita Prasad. I follow your work as well, Dr. Prasad, and thank you very much for taking the time to write to us and to watch this show. This is what we are doing together. It's a collective. It's not individuals. We're all doing this together. We have Mayank Joshi online, who is the founder. So that Nick and Sayantika, he's the founder of the Gay Indian Network in the UK. Jinsu, if you ever come to London, please do come to one of our meetups. It's fantastic. I'm a member as well. So he has commented that Shivanand Khan, who started the NAS project in India, was half Bengali, I think. I'm not sure. Okay. He was also keen to start a pride march in Kolkata in the 1990s. I remember we used to talk about it. And then he's further written, I think that it was called the Pride Friendship Walk, and it tried to
Yes,
use
yes.
It was called the Friendship Walk. Yes,
Yes.
it was
See,
called the Friendship.
brilliant. So we have history. We have a lot of history. And what we are now doing when we talk about same-sex marriage, this discussions, debates, stories that we share on our show, it's all about talking about all those things. It hasn't come from nowhere. It has come from work of many, many, many people over the years. And here we are. I was on a show recently. Sorry, I'm going to put some context to the next conversation. I was on a show recently, again, with all good intent. The person said, but marriage is such an old fashioned patriarchal structure. We need to just get out of it. Here, the heterosexuals are fighting to eliminate marriage altogether. And here, you're fighting for that. And I said, this is a complete response of an entitled, privileged person. Only an entitled, privileged person can say something like that because you have the choice. Like I have a choice. I can live in New Zealand. I can live in the UK. I can live in India. We have to be very mindful and careful what we talk about, because we are not only talking about us. I can live here in London peacefully, happily married. But when I come to India, I become single again. So now we'll come to that part. Why do you want to get married? You are happy together, you live together, you have a beautiful life, beautiful network, friendship. I can see Anjana Kashyap. I just know that Anjana Kashyap is your friend with all the
Yes,
hearts.
so best friends.
है ना? है ना?
Bestie.
Anjana,
Hi, Anj.
I also want those hearts, okay? Because I also love hearts. But I'm saying, so you have this fantastic life. Now, why do you need to get married?
Okay, I'm so glad you brought that up, Raga, because a lot of people do say that to us that, oh, you can live together, it's decriminalized now. Like, why do you need?
Firstly, in India, there is like so much of
Yes.
so many people are not even aware. They feel that
We
okay,
can get
section
married.
377 decriminalized. That means you are valid. Your relationship is valid. So get married.
Get married.
What
We
is the
can get
problem?
married. So many people ask us, why aren't you getting married? We are like, because we can't legally, And they're like, no, you can. People have straight explained it to me and told me, no, you don't know, you can get married. I'm like, okay, sure. But on a serious note, why we need that marriage? Why do we need that tag? And I get that people say that marriage is a patriarchal institution, it's an old institution, and all of that. It's not that I'm saying everyone from the LGBTQ community needs to get married tomorrow. Like the minute it gets legalized, all of us are going to start getting hitched and taking feras, But we should have the choice. It is about that. It is about that we should all have the choice, and not just the choice to have a big fat Indian wedding, but the choice for marriage, because marriage is not just about shadi. Marriage is about everything thereafter, the legal protection that comes along with it, the financial security that comes along with it, the medical protections, interventions, the medical intervention rights that come along with it, even protection from things like domestic abuse, etc., that comes along with this. All of these are part and parcel of a marriage. We live in a country where even a girlfriend and boyfriend isn't really seen as a relationship, even in a straight context. Marriage is seen as the epitome of validating a relationship, not just socially, but legally as well. And that is where it becomes so important for us to have that choice.
Like you said, no. My mother probably must be thinking that we are very good friends, but
Yeah.
I don't want that. I
Yeah.
want them to look at us as couple, because even when, let's say, we have to rent a house together in any city in India right now,
Yeah.
we have to say that we are family, friends, or colleagues, or something like that.
Yeah, because we are seen as single girls, bachelors ko flat nahi dete, If we are not viewed as a family, whereas we are a family. They'd be like, there's so many flats who would say, oh, we only rent to families, we don't rent to bachelors, but we're like, we are a family, but we won't be viewed as such. Even legal repercussions, that's on a more of a social aspect, more on legal repercussions. We can't co-sign a loan together. Nick recently bought a house, like the house that we live in. Nick recently bought that, and it just has to be in one person's name. We can't own personal property together. There are inheritance laws that we don't have when something happens to a husband or a wife. Like the spouse just inevitably inherits things, property, financial property, whatever. We can't have those kind of natural progression of inheritance. We don't have access to things like same-sex insurance, not on a larger scale. Some companies are providing same-sex insurance, but we don't have access to same-sex insurance. Even if you see medical interventions, which is such a harsh reality of life, right? Tomorrow, if something happens to Nick, for all intents and purposes, we are a couple, we are family, but tomorrow if something happens to Nick, and she's, let's say, not in a condition to make a medical decision, I won't be the person who's even entitled to make a medical decision on her behalf. I will be nobody. I'll just be a friend. If her family wants to, and for queer people, a lot of the families don't accept, right? If her family wants to come and tell me that, listen, you F off, who are you? You're just a friend. I will have to.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But
make one feel.
Yeah, but thank you for sharing this in so much detail, because what happens is when we say these things to people, I mean, I have the same problem, right? Like I said, when I go to India, I'm a married woman, legally married to my partner. I go to India, as soon as I get into the border, then everything that you just said applies to me as well. So which means if we have a medical emergency in India, between the two of us, none of us can make decisions on behalf of each other. Now, Let me tell you two things that come forward when people say this. Listen to this. The heterosexuals say, "Oh, I didn't know that. Who said that you can't take a joint bank loan? Who said that?" Like they make it look like, yeah, straight explaining, right? They make it first, they are totally ignorant. Then they start straight explaining. You think, no, 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 you don't know. You go to the bank, come to the bank with me. I will get you joint, They have no idea. They have zero idea about this. That's number one. Number two, the most important thing that happens and which leaves me in shock is that people actually look at our relationship and say, "But really, this will last? You're sure? No, this is even at my age. Sorry, they ask me. They think that it's a phase I'm going through. See, sorry, I left a man and a marriage to be this person. I'm not going to go through a phase and go back."
Interestingly, that didn't last.
I
They
swear,
should have
I
done
tell
objective
people,
marriages because a lot of them don't last.
मैं तो मस्ती में कान पकड़ती हूँ, सच्ची सच्ची. I tried very hard to be straight, but I can't help it. I still wake up gay. So, but what is terrifying to me is that one, people don't understand. They don't know the magnitude of this. When we say things like that, they think, "यार कोई बात नहीं, यार हो जाएगा, हो जाएगा." I was on a national television in India when this whole debate started 2 weeks ago, and one person from the opposition, I can't remember his name, he kept on telling myself and my other co-gay speaker, saying that, "Arey, why you have to get your partner to have give medical intervention? Anybody on the road also when there's an accident," this is how he spoke, okay? "On the road when there's an accident, somebody can pick you up and take you to the hospital. No, they have all the right to do it. But we are saying, why would we want a random road person to take decisions on our behalf?" He's saying, "But
And they
your
don't
parents are not."
have autonomy for taking you to the hospital is different and signing
No,
documents
no.
of
And he's saying,
release
"Arey,
or
your mother and
medical.
father are brothers and sisters, not there." But I asked him, I said, "Do you not have a wife? If you have a wife, would you not want your wife to make a decision?" "No, my wife will make a decision." Exactly, that's the point. We want our wives, our partners, our spouses to make the decision behalf of us, not one roadside rickshaw wala. "Sorry, he will take you to the hospital and do what?" That's the difference. They don't really understand.
Yeah.
And we need to have more of these conversations, drum it into their heads that, hey, we need this marriage, the choice to marry. Everybody's not going to marry. Everybody doesn't want to get married. But if we have the choice to marry, we should be allowed that choice. And that choice, therefore, doesn't mean that we're going to feel great ever after. Yes, we will live, which like Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol forever after. But it also
But
means that we'll
that's
be
the thing,
safe,
Raga.
protected.
For us to have these rights, we
Yeah,
don't necessarily have to show we have a perfect relationship because
correct.
straight people don't have a perfect relationship on the time and they still have the right.
Marriage has
So
been
why is
made
it
as
different for us?
forever
I know.
choice.
There's no
They are
debate.
going about royally screwing up the institution of marriage and they still have that privilege. So
Yeah.
why should it be denied to us? Why do we have to stand and say that, oh, we are perfect as a couple, we'll be together forever, only then we get to be married? Why? We
Exactly. I'll come to Dale.
or we get divorced in 5, we still
Yeah.
should be allowed to get married.
Exactly. That's the other debate that was going on. How will you raise children? You can't have children. Oh my God, no, no. Bhagwan, this is against nature. Okay, that's one. Sorry, guys. I tell people I raise children. My children are 25 years old and they're the most beautiful children you'll ever meet. Now, even if they were not, it's still okay. है ना? But even if they were not, even if they're just regular people, yeah, just they are as functional or dysfunctional, it doesn't matter. We don't want to take the pressure of the society saying perfect relationship, perfect children. The point is that give us that choice to be imperfect. Give us the choice to also have domestic violence like you have in your house and sort it out. Have laws
In fact,
around it.
not just that, protection, Raga, protection in that case. If in a heterosexual couple, this is also one aspect of why we need marriage rights in the first place. Because marriage not just gives you rights and privilege, it also gives you protection. That legal paper also gives you protection against domestic violence. A same sex couple will probably have to cite it as assault, but it wouldn't have the same, treatment that a domestic violence case would get. So why is it different when actually it is domestic violence if it happens in a
Yeah.
straight couple, right? So in a same-sex couple, it is still domestic violence, but why would it be treated differently?
Exactly.
So
And so
even those protections are relevant for us.
I totally agree because I also know of a lot of relationships in India because now I do this work in the community where same-sex people have a lot of violence in there. I mean, there are two humans come together. There are relationships that have certain kind of forms of abuse, which all relationships don't have, but some have. and but they're not protected. They're
That's the
afraid to go
thing.
to the authorities. Nobody to look after them. There is no case that they can file. So we need, this is also important because there are these issues that we are going to be faced with. We need to highlight. I'm going to just take on a comment that Dale has made. Dale is another follower, and he's Dale. I hope you pronounce him and he and him. And he says, "Hi Raga, hi Nick and Shayantika. I have come
Hello,
across
Dale.
people. I've come across people saying we are causing chaos by legalizing same-sex marriages. What do we tell them? Lots of love, Raga. I just show them. What is that to tell them? Don't. I don't know. I'll leave this to Nick and Shantika. I tell them. I have lots of answers on my fingers, but yes, you can go ahead, Nick and Shantika.
So I think um, do not look at us firstly with a different lens. We are just humans, two humans who want to get married. I don't know how your marriage is not chaotic and my marriage is. I don't understand that logic firstly.
Yeah. It's kind of illogical to think that, but if it's coming from a legal perspective, that it would cause chaos in terms of a lot of laws will have to be revamped. Let's look at it from this lens, right? A lot of things which were so-called part of Indian marriage traditions, child marriage, dowry, sati, all of these have over time been seen as something that doesn't fit anymore, is so wrong, and has been revamped, which has also taken legal changes. Dowry has been banned as a legal intervention, which has also taken social practice changes. So if we can, when we see something isn't the right fit, that it needs to evolve and be better, when we can take legal intervention and redefine those understandings of marriage to make it better and get rid of all these practices, then why can't we do the same for same sex marriage? Why do we not get extended the same courtesy?
Exactly.
That's what I would
And
tell.
Dale, my response is, if anybody, you come across people who say to you that you're causing chaos, just say that you love it. You love chaos. And change happens with chaos. Barkha, that show, she said that very clearly. She said, for any change to take place, there will be a bit of, chaos. That's how change happens. That's okay. But beautiful change happens, through that.
We
And
change
change.
the currency of the whole country overnight, but we can't change marriage laws. What do you say?
Dekho, I know. That's a really good point. We could change the currency. This is a quotable code. We could change the currency of the country overnight. I tell you the date also, 8th November. And we can't change the currency of love, I would say, of same-sex marriage. You know, I keep telling people this. If anybody even watches this after, I know we will have a huge audience. Look at this frame. Don't look at me. Look at these beautiful people. What is there not to love? Just quietly just sit for a minute, look at this couple and tell me, what is there not to love? And if any one of you can tell me one reason, you know, I will give you whatever you want. What is there not to love? This is us. This is really us. And no relationship is perfect. Every relationship has things. See, sentences get completed by each other. You think that's funny? No. Wait till you're married for 16 years. I think I can see you laughing in the background. But saying this is it. But this is us, love life, love is love. All these typical stereotypical things that we talk about, don't even talk about that. Just look at these people. You're my poster girls for a couple. I'm going to tell people, really, there's a lesbian visibility day coming soon.
Yes.
Hardly now. I am 50 years plus. Okay, people have been calling me and asking me to talk and asking me to invite other people my age from India to talk about Lesbian Visibility Week. Guess how many responses we've got so far? Zero. No, we don't have visibility. That is why no woman comes out in India, especially people like us who's mad like me to get threatened and abused. So we need people like you. We need couples like Nick and Shantika to be visible, to do what they're doing, and give them love. Don't give hate. I know that you are very loved, but even one random hate you should not have. And keep loving Nick and Shayantika. Before we log off, it's very short time we have. I'm going to ask you one very important question. But before I even ask that question, I want to say thank you so much for being yourself. Okay, I've really loved having you on our show. It's you've really created this whole story. It's not just a love story of a narrative of a couple, and if that couple doesn't have to be same sex heterosexual, it's a couple, man, two people in love. That's it. Now I want to know, when this same sex marriage gets totally legalized, which I know it will get, whatever time it takes, what's the first thing you will do?
She'll book her Sabyasachi lehenga. She's been dreaming about it. I don't know, since forever maybe.
Okay, I
She's
know.
planned the entire wedding. She knows what Anjana here, who's her
Anjana is my
bestie,
maid of honor.
what she's gonna wear, what I'm gonna wear, how the decor is going to be, how our bachelor's parties are going to be.
Yeah, Sangeet, dance off, everything. All our
Everything.
friends have been split
She's
into
just
two
waiting
groups.
for it.
The ones who will be from Nick's side at the wedding, the ones who will be from my side at the wedding.
Okay, are we invited, Nicola and I? And whose side?
Yes, you're
Wow.
from my side, Mara.
Okay, done. You can, Nick and Nicola can choose.
My side, okay? Just
So my question is, how will you propose to each other? Filmy style, or it will be a surprise?
So Nick has actually already proposed to me. So
not for marriage though. So
not for marriage, but we do have a she's done such an outstanding job even with the commitment proposal, because we didn't get to call each other our wives anymore, so it was a commitment proposal. She's done such an outstanding job. I can't wait to see what she does with the wedding proposal, but she's proposing.
much
She's
pressure
proposing.
on me.
But even after we started dating, about a year after we started dating, so I was like whining, we don't have an anniversary date. You never really officially asked me to date you and all of that. We just started dating. Dosti se pyar ho gaya, So on 3rd February, she planned this surprise for me. We were in Mumbai and she took me to Gateway of India and she had booked a private yacht. I had no idea. I love the ocean. And I was so happy. It was a private yacht decorated with red and white balloons. There were roses. And the sunset was happening, middle of the ocean, view of Taj and Gateway and everything. And there she went down on her knees and asked me to be her partner
So we
in
call
life.
each other up pill, partners in
Partner
life.
in life. Oh,
Does the ring.
oh, how
Does the
lovely.
ring on it?
How lovely. Listen, you really, I said, now we would fall in love with you. I hope the audience falls in love with you as much as we have. It's beautiful to have you on. And we are going to wait for that wedding invite, okay? I'm definitely coming for the shadi. I think Dale will also be there. I just have a feeling Dale will also be there. Dale, let's all go. And on that note, I must very, very sadly end this. I'm also actually getting my head's getting clogged.
Yes,
Word.
please take
Take
rest.
rest.
COVID can be really
See,
bad.
this is all we asking for attention. Fine. But but it's so lovely. Really, it's lovely having you. I want us to actually come back on another show together. I'd love to invite you back because I think these conversations are important. We'll also have more stories to tell, more couples coming on, and let's have a discussion on both the negative and the positive. There's some discussion that we're going to have in the future with completely another group of people saying that, why most of our families throws out, ostracize us. So why should it be only restricted to same-sex marriages with families? We can choose our own families. For inheritance, for instance, we need to choose outsiders to actually maybe be our nominee, be part of our will. Fair enough. That conversation will also happen very soon. So thank you. In the meantime, I'll thank you both, Nick and Sharantika. I had a fantastic time. Again, I've said that for the 10th time.
Same here. We had like a ball. That was amazing.
Lovely. And thank you to our partners. We have Lotus Visual, who always support us, digital partners, Digital Fix. Thank you so much. And the community partners, the Gay Indian Network UK, Jin. Thank you, Joshi, and everyone there. And the producer, Nicola, at the Views Room, and our wonderful audience.
Thank you everyone who tuned in. I know we spoke for a really long time and it's quite late here in India. Thank you everyone for joining in. It was really great. All of your comments, we've been reading it while we speak, and it just makes our heart feel so full. Thank you everyone for joining.
And thank you. And for those who want to come onto a show or throw galis at us, give feedback, whatever, everything is welcome. Certain things we send back with love. And you can write to us at theviewsroom@gmail.com. And we will see you very soon. And thank you for putting up with me. I don't even know whether you heard me because I really have a blocked head. And that is me. Okay. Thank you so much and lots of love. See you soon again.
Thank you. Bye bye.